Joe Biden knows how to do this.
Yes.
He knows how to do this. He's quite good at this. And, you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just...
This is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world. Because Caroline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees any day. Asterisk Joe Biden knows how to do this. Yes, he knows how to do this. He's quite good at it. And you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean Trump, he rambles. Trump tends to just, asterisk, but can I mention one thing? Asterisk, just days ago, we showed you the heated face-off between the new White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, and Whoopi Goldberg. But what we didn't show you was the full, uncensored drama, the gasps, the eye rolls, and those wild caught-on-camera reactions that left viewers frozen in place. Asterisk, so, buckle up, because what's coming next will have your jaw on the floor. Asterisk I. 2 a.m. a working mom and always have been. I've been a professional woman since I graduated from college or law school. But now there's a good shift. I think, a restoration of valuing so-called traditional moms, and that's great. The women who take care of their kids full-time, most of my best friends are doing exactly that. Asterisk, but it seems like on the right, there's been a bit of a shift suggesting that you can't do what Caroline's doing, that it's somehow unsafe, dangerous, or a bad choice for families and children, which I reject completely. But you hear it more and more. Asterisk, yeah, where do you hear that, and what do you think of it? Asterisk now. The moment Caroline clapped back on live TV, the so-called woke mob did what they always do. They snapped like clockwork. They jumped online, claws out, trying to drag her through the digital mud, all because she dared to go head-to-head with Whoopi, the self-declared queen of progressive Hollywood. Asterisk, but here's where it gets messy. Asterisk, instead of attacking her facts, her policies, or even her tone, they went after her motherhood. Yep, in 2025, they pulled out a 1950s playbook and asked why a woman with a 7-month-old baby was even working. Asterisk, that's the brilliant counterattack from the internet's outrage army. Not she's wrong, but why isn't she at home? Asterisk, no data, no receipts, just straight-up mom-shaming from people who claim to stand for choice, freedom, and progress, and all because Caroline outsmarted Whoopi. Live and unfiltered. Asterisk ow. The irony. Asterisk, the same internet crowd that yells women can do it all suddenly slammed the brakes, but only when this woman did it on her own terms. Apparently, if you dare to outshine a daytime talk show host, you're supposed to crawl back home, whip up some cookies, and rethink your entire existence. Asterisk, that's not empowerment. That's pure hypocrisy dressed in HASHDAGS. Asterisk, and let's be real, Caroline Leavitt wasn't spouting anything crazy. She was making valid, grounded points. So why is the mob coming after a hardworking mother just trying to do her job? What happened to supporting women who actually work? Asterisk now, watch this. Asterisk, Caroline doesn't just respond, she obliterates the outrage with calm confidence. Like she's swatting a mosquito with a gold-plated sledgehammer. No drama, no yelling, just facts. Asterisk, she lays it out, yet
this chaos of 24/7 work is a temporary matter. And that's what at least I tell myself to get through these very long and hard days.
Internet common sense still exists. Asterisk, but here's the twist. Asterisk, she doesn't stop there. Caroline goes off script. She openly embraces traditional values and keeps it real. Juggling motherhood and a high-profile job is hard. Asterisk I would reject that it's a bad choice. She says, is it a tough choice? Absolutely. You know, as a mother, you want to be with your child 24/7. You have that maternal instinct. Asterisk. Asterisk, not all the time. Well, right now. Yes, because he's 7 months old and just squishy and lovable, but I'm sure that will change. Asterisk, you do have that maternal instinct. But you also recognize, I'm doing this work for my son and for all children to make this country better, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Asterisk, honestly, Caroline is making some solid points, and I have no idea why people are hating on a hard-working mother in the first place. Asterisk, let's see what she says. Next. Asterisk, it's also temporary, right? In 4 years, my son will be 4 years old, and the president will no longer be at the White House. Then I'll move on and do something else. But this chaos of 24/7's work, it's temporary, and that's what I tell myself to get through these very long and hard days. Asterisk, she continues. Asterisk, I reject the idea that you can't be a good mom and be good at your job. I think you can do both. It's certainly not for everybody. It takes a lot of work, will, faith, and prayer. And yes, it's hard, but it can be done. And I reject the idea that it can't. Asterisk, and here's the kicker, she admits not every woman is built for it. Asterisk, a woman saying out loud, my path isn't for everyone. Asterisk, cue the virtual gasps. Asterisk, forget the tired chant of you can have it all or you've failed feminism. Caroline Leavitt flips that entire mindset on its head. Instead of parroting slogans, she drops real wisdom. Asterisk, with calm confidence, she reminds everyone, women who choose to be full-time moms aren't stepping backward, they're stepping into one of the most important roles there is, raising the next generation. That's not weakness, that's power. Asterisk, she doesn't just win this debate, she exposes it, strips it bare. Asterisk, Caroline shows that for all their flashy slogans and so-called empowerment, the same people screaming about equality are the first to mock mothers who choose a different path. Asterisk, what's that smell though? Just pure performative feminism mixed with some old-school mom shaming. Asterisk, but just when you think the internet warriors can't go lower, boom, they dig up a fresh bottom. Asterisk, out of nowhere, they hit full conspiracy mode. Asterisk, yes, the same crowd that lectures everyone about science, facts, and logic has tossed all that out and gone full tinfoil hat. Asterisk, now they're not just angry, they're inventing wild theories like some basement-level internet forum. Asterisk, get ready because their next claim is so out there, it'll have you wondering if they're auditioning for a late-night parody skit. Asterisk, I mean, I have to ask because they said it. Asterisk, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs? Asterisk, absolutely not, she responds. Let me be unequivocally clear about that. Asterisk, in watching this clip, I couldn't help but notice the irony. Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans conspiracy theorists. But they've been wrong about almost everything they've said over the last few years. Asterisk, they've likened President Trump to monsters. They've mocked him. They've shamed him. They've lied about him consistently on their show. Asterisk, and it was a joy to watch them on November 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not believe the lies they've been spewing. Asterisk, these women are completely out of touch with reality. Asterisk. Asterisk, believe it or not, folks, the latest claim making the rounds is that Elon Musk, the man busy launching rockets into space and flipping the auto industry upside down, is secretly plotting to take down Donald Trump by pushing him down the stairs. Asterisk, yes, seriously. Asterisk, because apparently, when you're a billionaire genius, you ditch strategy and go straight for schoolyard pranks. Asterisk, and guess who's pushing this wild idea? None other than the ladies of The View, acting like their morning coffee table talk has turned into a full-blown government investigation. All because Caroline Leavitt dared to outsmart their beloved Whoopi Goldberg. Asterisk, now they're out for revenge, and they've set their sights on Trump, and Elon Musk too. Asterisk, it's the kind of thing you'd expect in a political comedy. Asterisk, but no, this is real. Asterisk, Caroline Leavitt, though, wasn't having it. She fired back, calmly, but firmly, shutting down the nonsense with logic that hit like a brick wall. Her response was so clear, so sharp, it left the conspiracy crowd fumbling for their next desperate theory. Asterisk, and Whoopi, instead of facing Leavitt directly, she took the safer route, throwing shade from a distance. Because even she knows that stepping into a one-on-one with Caroline is like walking into a buzzsaw with a blindfold. It's not a fight, it's a guaranteed wipeout. Asterisk, a lot of women are preparing themselves for the impact of the incoming administration, which has led to this growing mantra from some male right-wingers: your body, my choice. Asterisk, say that to my face. Asterisk, Whoopi Goldberg didn't go head-to-head with Caroline Leavitt. Instead, she took a detour and launched her next attack on Donald Trump. But what came next shocked even longtime viewers. Asterisk, live on national television. After saying Trump's name, Goldberg spat. Asterisk, yes, spat, like a cartoon villain who just tasted bitter defeat. Asterisk, real classy, right? Asterisk, because nothing says serious political discussion like literally spitting mid-sentence. Asterisk, but Leavitt wasn't about to let that slide. She clapped back, sharp, clear, and absolutely brutal. With the calm precision of a surgeon and the strength of a freight train, she said what everyone was thinking. Asterisk, this is what passes for debate now. When there are no facts to lean on, Goldberg goes full playground mode. Asterisk, Leavitt added. Asterisk, imagine being so rattled by one man's name that you start spitting like a toddler who hates broccoli. Asterisk, and honestly, she had a point. It wasn't defiance, it was desperation, and it looked bad. Asterisk, Leavitt didn't hold back. She called out the double standards loud and clear. Asterisk, you must have really wrestled with How you were going to meet the high bar set by Caroline Jean-Pierre. Was that sorry? Sorry, was that out loud? No, she was terrible. I mean, come on. Asterisk, then she was asked. Asterisk, so, how has your approach been different, would you say? Asterisk, she responded. Asterisk, I think it's vastly different, and if you ask people, even in the legacy media, even the Trump haters, they'll tell you the approach has been much different, not just for me, but for the entire White House. Asterisk, oh, absolutely. They come into my office every day and admit it, off the record. Maybe not on the record, but they say they appreciate the access, the transparency, and the preparation that goes into my briefings, and from everyone on our team. Asterisk, the same people preaching about civility and respect are out here turning live TV into a circus. One where spit replaces arguments and name-calling takes the place of reasoned discussion. Asterisk. Surprise, the internet exploded. Asterisk, memes flew faster than the views producers could cut to commercial, and the public, they weren't shy, one user wrote. Asterisk, these women are going to have to hide at some point. I wouldn't feel safe walking down the street if I were any of them. Asterisk, support for Caroline Leavitt was pouring in. And Whoopi's bold stunt, it backfired, big time. Some viewers weren't having it, calling Goldberg out for what they saw as spitting in the face of every American who voted for Trump. Asterisk, she literally spat on half the country, one person wrote. Asterisk, others weren't convinced it was even genuine. Asterisk, I'm convinced they pay her extra to act foolish. Another commented. Asterisk, now let's zoom out, because what Caroline Leavitt just exposed might be bigger than anyone expected. Asterisk, in one clean move, she didn't just silence critics, she peeled back the mask on legacy media and the loudest Trump haters. These are the same folks who've been after her nonstop, questioning her resume, mocking her as a mom, dragging her name any chance they get. Asterisk, if she so much as blinks wrong, there's a hit piece online before she finishes her sentence. Asterisk, but behind closed doors, whole different story. Asterisk, sources say the same critics have been sneaking into Leavitt's office, smiling, shaking hands, even thanking her for giving them real press access. Apparently, Biden's team had locked them out, and now they're quietly grateful. Asterisk, and then there's this, an IG report from the Social Security Administration. $71 billion in fraud over one fiscal period. Asterisk, to be clear, that $71 billion wasn't in a single year. It was spread from 2015 to 2020 to, asterisk, still, $71 billion. That's a lot of fraud. Peter. Asterisk, so, are you defending $71 billion in fraud? That's a lot of taxpayer money. Why is the media so against cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from the government? I don't get it. Asterisk, but we won't be deterred. We will not be deterred by people like you. Asterisk, so, while they bash her on social media, off camera, it's all, thanks for doing your job. Asterisk, you can't make this up. Asterisk, but let's be honest, hypocrisy. It's practically part of the dress code now. Asterisk, and it's not just The View, it's the entire media machine, pretending to battle corruption while quietly playing along. And there's Leavitt watching it all fall apart with her seat in hand. Asterisk, fresh off her showdown with Whoopi, Caroline barely has time to breathe before another woke journalist jumps in, not to discuss the real scandal she exposed, but to go after her. Asterisk, classic move. Asterisk, forget the glaring issues sitting front and center. Instead, this journalist acts like a power-drunk hall monitor, more worried about phrasing than facts. Asterisk, it's the same tired routine. Asterisk 1, ignore the scandal. Asterisk 2, attack the messenger. Asterisk 3, pat yourself on the back for saving democracy. Asterisk, but Leavitt, she stayed cool and cut straight through the nonsense. Asterisk, with a quick jab, she said, asterisk, ow, I didn't realize exposing corruption was less important than your fact-checking obsession. Asterisk, brutal. Asterisk, the journalist, clearly rattled, kept pressing, nitpicking every word while ignoring the real issue dancing in plain sight. Asterisk, but by the end, it wasn't a debate. Asterisk, it was a total takedown. Asterisk, that journalist didn't walk away looking like a truth seeker, more like a PR intern for the very scandal Caroline Leavitt had just exposed. Asterisk, and it makes you wonder, how does Leavitt stay this sharp under pressure? Asterisk, here's the secret. Asterisk, no scripts, no consultants, no buzzword bingo. Asterisk, she speaks straight from the gut. Asterisk, how do you prepare? Because you can't know everything, and you could be asked anything. And unlike Caroline Jean-Pierre, you're not out. They're reading and flipping through tabs to find answers written by someone else. Asterisk, so how do you do it? Asterisk, she replied. Asterisk, I did prepare a binder for the first briefing. My great assistant Keegan put it together. And then I showed up to work. It was this thick, and I thought, I can't even move this. I can't use this. Asterisk, it was too cumbersome for my brain, the way I learn and think. It felt like added weight. Asterisk, so I said, I want to just go in there and speak from my mind and from my heart, like your boss, like my boss. Asterisk, while others filter every word through PR teams and focus groups, Leavitt says it plain, real, and unapologetic. Asterisk, she's not worried about trendy phrasing or whether her soundbite checks the right boxes. She skips the performance. No fluff, no double speak, just blunt, raw truth that hits harder than a dozen polished monologues. Asterisk, while the left does verbal gymnastics, trying not to offend their own echo chamber, Leavitt cuts straight through with confidence, receipts, and clarity. Asterisk, she's not just talking, she's delivering. Asterisk, and critics can barely keep up. Asterisk, it's almost unfair. While they're crafting another outrage thread on X, still pretending it's 2016 Twitter, Leavitt's already moved on, calmly dismantling their argument before they finish typing. Asterisk, in a world drowning in fake outrage and empty slogans, Leavitt's blunt honesty isn't just powerful, it's a total game changer. Asterisk, her authenticity is a threat, especially to those whose platforms are built on smoke, mirrors, and cherry-picked outrage. Asterisk, I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. Asterisk, that's what The View's Joy Behar said, reducing a national press secretary to just her looks. Asterisk, let's be clear, it's not Leavitt's first job. It was her first press briefing, but she had already worked in the previous administration. Asterisk, so when Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg tried to reduce her to her appearance, it wasn't just cheap, it was downright pathetic. Asterisk, let's call it what it is. Envy. Asterisk, these women aren't just offended, they're intimidated. Asterisk, Caroline's intelligence, composure, and fast rise to national spotlight speak for themselves. And that kind of momentum rattles people who've spent decades shouting into a camera with little to show for it. Asterisk, so what's the game plan? Asterisk, classic deflection. Asterisk, throw shade, toss out petty insults, hope something sticks. Asterisk, doesn't matter how absurd or baseless, if it might drag her down, it's fair game in their eyes. Asterisk, it's giving high school drama, just with more makeup and a daytime TV budget. Asterisk, they can't touch her record, it's solid. Asterisk, they can't win an argument, she slices through them like butter. Asterisk, so they pull out the last resort from the woke playbook, character assassination. Asterisk, and the go-to line. Asterisk, go, she's only successful because of Trump. Asterisk, when facts fail, jealousy screams louder. Asterisk, they complain, conveniently forgetting Caroline Leavitt was already making waves long before she ever stepped into the White House press room. Asterisk, and would they ever say the same about a liberal mom balancing work and family? Asterisk, not a chance. Asterisk, she's a very nice-looking lady, but that's not why she got the job. She got the job because she was the national spokesperson for the campaign, and she did a very good job in that role. Asterisk, the campaign was hugely successful and communicated very effectively. That's why she got the job. Asterisk, even if Caroline Leavitt weren't a pretty lady. Asterisk, even if she were a male, gremlin, monstrous-looking fellow, she still would have earned the job based on how effective the campaign communications were. Asterisk, furthermore, Leavitt ran for Congress. Asterisk, I was talking to Roger Stone about this while trying to figure out who the picks for the administration would be. He said, asterisk, I think Leavitt's going to get the White House press job. She earned it, and I like that she's been in the fire. She's run for office. Asterisk, the double standard is wild, and the more they whine, the more obvious it becomes. Asterisk, this isn't politics, it's envy. Asterisk, just by showing up. Leavitt's winning the culture war, and her success has them spiraling. Asterisk, no one spells that out clearer than Michael Knowles. Asterisk, but let's be real. Leavitt's not dominating because of sound bites. Asterisk, she's the real deal. Asterisk, her confidence isn't just talk, it's backed by grit and experience. Asterisk, remember her congressional run. Asterisk, she wasn't some Gen Z name chaser looking for clicks. She won the Republican primary, steamrolling her opponents, including Matt Moers, a former Trump official who was supposed to have it in the bag. Asterisk, spoiler, he didn't. Asterisk, sure. She eventually lost to Democrat Chris Pappas, but it wasn't a blowout. She made the establishment nervous. Asterisk, that campaign wasn't just a line on her resume. It was training in the trenches. Asterisk, Leavitt didn't just step into politics. Asterisk, she earned her seat at the table. Asterisk, and that's what really scares them. Asterisk not. The latte sipping, fact check obsessed fantasy world some pundits live in, but real world politics, where skill, smarts, and strength actually matter. Asterisk now, to the cackling witch herself, Joy Behar, from The View, whose jealousy is something to behold. Here's her assessment of Trump's new White House press secretary. Asterisk she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. Asterisk the ever-empowering feminist Joy, everyone. Asterisk and this is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world. Asterisk because Caroline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees any day. Asterisk Caroline Leavitt's sharp comebacks aren't just youthful energy, they're a warning shot. Asterisk the game has changed. Asterisk.